This is part 3 of the presentation on the overview of the Regression Plus for real estate professionals. Now we're ready to do our analysis. In between recordings, I made some changes to the data, and what I did was I took the newer day sale and I reduced them by about 30 to 40,000. These last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales. Now, if this data came in and was quickly looked at, or if the computer was doing this alone, it would probably be programmed to get rid of these outliers. In this case, the scenario we're having here is that there was a plant closing, and that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 sales represent a drastic decrease in the market conditions in the values of properties. Now, in order to help the appraiser see this, we've incorporated an individual trend analysis, in which case, for example, we look at the property age from the newer properties at 14 years to over 24 years, and we can see they're pretty well a straight line. In the middle, in the middle we lose 2%, but we don't care about that. Now, we can look at each of these lines. The main we're not going to use. I'm going to turn it off in a minute anyway, so I'm not even going to discuss that. Bedrooms is straight, location. But look at day since sale. When I look at this, I notice that my errors were good. In other words, my model predicted very good. It was up to 5% off right here, and up into here it was very accurate. But I noticed that the last few sales here, the last few sales were way higher, and that alerts me that there's something wrong with the data, because one thing regression does not do very well is handle these abrupt changes. So now I know there's an issue. Now, if I knew there was an issue like that, I could turn off these sales and go back in and do some type of analysis to come up with my 30,000. Go back to my valuation settings, add another one, and put market conditions. I'll just do that right now, plant closing. And what I would do here is then put a minus 30,000. Like I said, right now I'm not really trying so much to teach how to do a regression analysis. What I'm trying to do here is just show off some of the features that the Regression Plus has. But what that was an example of was the Regression Plus, and what Regression is plus is the human user. In this case, the appraiser. So it gives regression so much more power, because if this had just been a regression program, it probably some type of an AVM, it probably would have been programmed just to throw those out, and it would have overvalued your subject property by 30,000. So now let's look at these other things. We've went over what these are. So let's look now. We're ready to do some. If I wanted to do stepwise regression, I could just turn all of these off and see where I'm at. 107,000, 7286. Actually, all that's not bad. Property age I can turn on. Now let's talk about this in the red. We had changed the property's age to 12. Normally it was 14. The direction's correct. Now what you could do is actually calculate what you would expect this to be for this data set. And appraisers can do that. You can say, well, the average sales price or the average square feet is 1,800, and it's about $100 a square foot, and I'm going to divide that by 80 years, and you would get a number. You could see if that's reasonable. Okay, and we're not going to get into doing all of that right now. The reason this is in red is because the day since sale is almost always not going to be within your range unless you have some other new sales, sales that just closed that same day. This it doesn't look good to me because it's a 1, it's a 0.9, and it's red, so I'm not happy with that. So if I turn this one on and this one on either one, what about the south? Can I just try to there? Now I don't know. For now I'm just going to leave that, and what we're going to do is say we're done with our analysis, and now let's talk about the confidence the confidence rating, because that's important. And these are filled in because I've already done this, and normally these would all be blank. But what this is a checklist for the human appraiser, the human user, which in this case is the appraiser. The number of observations, 43, good. Quality and accuracy of the data sample. The appraiser knows if that's good data or bad data, and the quality of that data. And let's say it's good. Market models, MMP, 97, that's excellent. Subject properties fit to the data sample. That would be this, and it's acceptable. Reasonability of the model's output. You see, you've got three choice: acceptable, good, or excellent. Reasonability of the outputs. We would look and see if these outputs looks reasonable. Let's say they're acceptable. Weight applied by the model. That's these weights, and your gross living area should be the heaviest weight. I like the intercept being low, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to say that's good. Adjusted R squared, that's excellent. P factors are good. The trend analysis, the individual components. We considered the plant closing, so that's good now. And the overall confidence, I would look at all of them and say good. You could put additional comments here and to go into the report. Now let's look at our report. We go to File. We could print the report. Let's just copy it right now into Excel. Into Word, so you could see it. So you could copy this. If you're a commercial appraiser, you could copy this right into, copy and paste it right into your Word document. You could, if you were a residential appraiser, you could actually copy this in an addenda in your report to shore up your appraisal, or add some front and back addenda to it. You can see we've added our 10,000 for remodeling and our 30,000 in. You could actually put some addenda with this and make this a complete standalone appraisal for low-end work like preliminary values or evaluations for federally regulated banks to compete with broker price opinions. This area that's blank is because we don't have the street address and the city and the street name, which would go in here. So you can see you end up with a report. So this gives you a pretty good overview of the Regression Plus for residential appraisers.